Good morning. I want to give you an update on the snow and ice conditions of the streets. We got this event moved in just about the worst possible time. It was in this morning. It continued through the commute time this morning. We've been out with all 50 trucks since about 1 o'clock and have been spreading salt and sand. The problem is that it continues to come down. Although it does improve the conditions, it doesn't really have a chance to do what it needs to do until the snow event ends, and that'll be later this morning. In the meantime, there's going to be some slush on the roads, and worse than that, there's some moisture in the precipitation, which makes it particularly slick. Once the snow stops, about an hour or two after that, as early as that, you'll see improvements, noticeable improvements to the streets. It's not quite deep enough or thick enough for us to plow yet, and plowing really slows down our operation. So what we'll do is continue to apply our salt sand mix, and once we get on the other side of the event, when the precipitation stops, we should see some improvements. Also, fortunately, we've got some warmer weather later this week, and so we don't imagine that this will stick around for very long. So we ask that folks be patient. That probably right now is about the worst time in terms of driving conditions while it's still coming down, and while there's moisture. The salt and sand will help a little bit, but it really won't do its job until after the snow and salt or snowstorm ends. So, any questions?
How is your supply doing, Alan?
We're nearly at full inventory. One of the reasons for that is we've been resupplying after each event. So as soon as we go out and have an event, we look through our sources to replace the salt that's been used, and so we're in really good shape as far as our salt and sand supplies are concerned.
And did the sleet cause any problems for you as far as you put that, I don't know, did you put brine down this time?
No, we didn't, because this event started off as rain, and if you put that on the roads, it just washes off, and so it's kind of a wasted effort. And so what we did was we waited until the rain started turning into snow and started accumulating on the streets, and then we started laying salt sand mix on it, and that's what you're seeing out there right now. We're giving particular attention to the intersections and elevated roadways and the kind of the known slippery places, icy places. But this is kind of the worst of all worlds when you're getting cold temperatures and the precip is a mixture of snow and rain. And it's going to make conditions slick out there until it stops a little bit later this morning. The salt sand that's out there now will start doing its job, and you should see some improvements later today.
You kind of said earlier when we first started this, it happened at the worst possible time, but what did you mean by that?
Well, an ideal situation would be for the event to be over and us to have a couple of hours for our treatment to continue and it to take effect before the commute. This is actually happening through the commute with an accumulation on the roads with some moisture on it actually during the commute. So they're safer, but they're not as safe as we would like to get it, and it really has to do with the timing of when the snow comes down.
What's your anticipation once this stops for the commute home tonight?
It should be better than the conditions out there now. If it does, in fact, end sometime around noon, and with the weather, that's the current forecast. But if it should continue on like it is, it'll continue to be about like it is now. But if it does stop sometime around noon, the conditions should be noticeably better.